Streaming?
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up my YouTube. Let's see if it comes up.
Oh, well. Let's just real quickly go to... And pull that on up. Hey guys, hope you're having a beautiful evening, and welcome to our second live stream. Now, Eli is not with us tonight, unfortunately. He ended up having to work his paying job. So, in his stead, my oldest son, Andrew, is with us.
Hello.
And so, now, with Xbox Gold, we get 4 free games a month. And one of the new games that just released was Speedrunners. And we've been playing the hell out of it for the last
2 or 3 days?
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
And man, it was, hey, hi there, Anglesbane, how you doing? We've been playing the hell out of it, and we were talking about how there's not a lot of party games, especially Nintendo has quite a bit, but like if you play, like we have an Xbox
Or PS4.
or if you have a PS4,
Even
there aren't
PC.
there aren't a ton of party games, and so it was kind of refreshing to get a party game for free on there. We're looking at the game. What was the other one? The cooking one, Overcooked.
Overcooked, yeah.
Overcooked. We're looking at that. So I remember growing up, and you wouldn't remember this obviously, but I had an N64, and they had Mario Party, they had Mario Kart, those kinds of things.
No, we had that James Bond game, Nightfire, that we all used to play.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about local online. I'm talking about specifically party games where they're specifically meant
Okay.
for multiple people to play together. So
Yeah, there's not a lot out there.
there aren't a lot out there, but when I was a kid, there were quite a few. Give me just 2 seconds here. There were. We didn't have a. We had a lot of party games. We had like Mario Kart. We had Mario Party, which was a game. My grandmother wasn't real good about buying Christmas presents, so or like video game Christmas presents. So I got an N64. I wanted Mario 64. That's the game I wanted. And so I asked her one year. Yeah, me too. We were just talking about how we don't really like when I was a kid. There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
Anglesbane, and it just doesn't seem like they make as many now as they used to. But yeah, I asked for Mario 64, and she got me Mario Party 4.
Well, close.
Had the 4 number in there somewhere. Hey, Mua friend, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. So, it was awesome. It was actually an awesome game. It was a lot of fun to play. Hey, Anglesbane, Mua friend, just FYI, Eli is not with us tonight. He had to go work his paying job. He ended up having to do that. They ended up scheduling him, or somebody ended up getting sick. He ended up having to go in and take over that slot. And so tonight, my eldest son was with me, Andrew. So he's going to be taking over for Eli. So, how's everybody doing tonight? What else do we want to talk about? So we talked about party games a little bit. We were talking about that Speedrunners. That was quite a bit of fun. We were talking about Overcooked, and what else was there? Was another one that we were looking at.
It was the Shadow Ninja.
Black and white Bushido.
Yes.
That looked like a really interesting concept for a video game. So yeah, I think my wife and I over the next couple weeks here, next couple months, good deal. I think my wife and I over the next couple weeks are going to look at maybe next couple weeks or months or whatever, getting more of those family type party games so we can play with our kids. I have, of course, other than Andrew, he's going to be 16 in a month.
Can't remember my own.
I know your birthday.
That hurts.
Our other two children are 4 and 6, and so it would be nice to have some more family-oriented games for them to play, so everybody can play together. We do play Rock Band as well.
Yes, that was a lot of fun.
Although you may have seen about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we did a Rock Band.
You saw me shirtless.
Shirtless. That was your decision.
It was.
You're like, I'm going to do it. So.
And I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry. Yes, I had Golden. That was the first game I bought. Was GoldenEye, on the N64. Man, that game was fun. That was I remember when you went from being able to I had a Super NES. You had like 2 controllers, and also you have 4 controllers, and 4 people can play and split screen. That was that's a hell of a game.
I do not have the experience.
No, they did re-release it. A couple years ago on 360.
But it wasn't. It sucked.
Well, I don't remember it being as fun as the one that was on the N64.
I primarily remember Nightfire.
That was on
Because
PS2 or something, PS
That's
whatever.
what I remember playing when I was growing up.
Yeah.
That and the James Bond racing game. I can't even think of what it's called.
Oh man, that game was horrible.
I remember liking it though, but I was also like 5 at the time.
Ankles Bane. I haven't played, but I've seen a lot of stuff for Honor. Have you played it? Do you enjoy it? It looks interesting. I know there's been a lot of I saw there was 2 videos on it. Matt Easton from Skull Gladiatoria did a video on it, and Matt Pat for Game Theory did a video on it. They both kind of disagreed on who would win in a fight. I think it's kind of arbitrary, but it does look it kind of looks like a lot of fun.
It's very interesting, the 3 factions against
each
other. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting, the 3 factions, and it crosses over all different
time periods.
No, different consoles.
Yeah.
So like, if if the Knight faction is doing well on PS4 and Xbox.
Apparently there's like a map where you can see who's winning the most, who's taking over what. But I don't know. I haven't played it, so it does look
okay. It is pretty fun. Okay, good. Well, maybe that's something we'll have to check out here in the future. I've been playing actually a hell of a lot of Battlefield 1 has been my kind of the game of the year for me.
I've been all over the place.
Yeah, you have. You've been playing a little bit of everything. We just picked up recently Mountain Blade Warband, which is like a medieval. It's partly tactical, partly hack and slash.
Yeah.
Kind
of it feels like a PC, an older PC game though.
Well, was it? Oh yeah. It was a great. It was a great game. Friend, which one? A Battlefield 1 or that our Warband or For Honor? We're throwing out a lot of names here. So
now the game I want to get is Wildlands. That's what I want to
get. It's been out for a month or 2 now, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. I'm kind of behind. The show's kind of Mountain Blade Fire and Sword is the best. Okay, good to know. Now I think Fire and Sword is not on 360. I'm not a PC gamer, unfortunately. I have to, because of everything that I end up doing. I have a very narrow what I'm actually able to put time towards. So I found console gaming is just the best way to streamline my gaming. So, but have you played have you played the Napoleonic Warband? Is that good? Is that fun? Because I did hear that they might be bringing it over to Xbox. So if it's worth it, I may end up buying it. So there is that. So what have you been up to this week?
Nothing.
Nothing? You're on summer break. Let's see. The metagame is the map and the tracks like wars between Xbox, PS, and PC. So the faction lines. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that really intrigued me about it. Was like, wow, okay, they're going there.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
They're going to go there.
I see.
Yeah, no, that was a really interesting concept that they were going to do that. It was interesting they got all those companies, all those corporations to agree with each other to do that. So But you're in summer now,
Yeah.
so that's pretty awesome. And you've been working on your temps, and so you're actually doing pretty good. I mean, are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying driving?
I am indeed.
So,
It's anticlimactic though, because you're like, oh, driving, and then it's like, okay.
like, oh my god, I'm gonna drive. But you still enjoy
Yeah.
whenever we go through, like, oh, are you gonna let me
Yeah.
drive? So,
I can see though it'll get like obnoxious in the future, like, oh, come pick me up, being like, oh, god dang it.
well,
It's a part of life.
that's part of it though. You know, when you have your license, and now you're gonna have a lot of friends that don't drive, and they're like, oh, suddenly you're everybody's best friend. Now we got a piece of crap van that you'll probably end up owning, and I remember being in high school, and I had a friend Kyle, and he got a van. He got a van.
Was it a white van?
It was a white van actually, and everybody was like, everyone wants like a car or something kind of cool when they first get their license. But let me tell you something. When he had that van, he was like the most popular kid in school because the thing about a van is you can put a lot of people in the van. So like if a bunch of you and friends, like you and a bunch of friends want to go, out, and get.
Well, you become more useful overall.
Yeah,
So
right.
for the-
Yeah, if
like somebody says like, oh, we need help moving something, and they'll pay you. You'll be like, hey, I got a van, I can put a couple stuff. Yeah.
We actually, I don't drive stick shift. But both of our vehicles are automatic. However, my wife grew up driving stick shift. And she loves it. And probably the next car we end up buying down the road will probably be stick shift because my wife just loves it. She grew up in the country, so it was all 4-wheel drive. It was all stick shift out there. So she loves it quite a bit. She's hankering for a little stick shift in her life. So, we got skipped for that class. Okay.
What did he say?
The rest of my family does, but I got skipped for that class. So, there's that. We so driving that was awesome. But yeah, being in high school, he was the most popular kid in school because we actually have a drive-in theater here. So if he wanted to go drive-in, you could take like 7 people instead of like 4. If he wanted to go we're going to get food, like a bunch of people would go. It made him the most popular kid in school. So I attest now, after having been out of high school, like, don't get a nice car when you get, if you're a young person, don't get a nice car, get a van. Nice, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, that's what she tells me. So, so there's that. So what else? What else besides driving? You got driving. It's summertime, which is amazing. I love summer, and I've said this.
You don't have to pick us up anymore.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I don't have to bounce.
That's why you're happy about it.
Well, yeah. Well, it's on. Honestly, we have to. We're filming, we're editing, and then I have to take about an hour out of my day
to go pick
up.
Well, usually
people.
Simon.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'll come and get you if the weather's like really crappy. We only live 2 blocks from that. 3 or 4 blocks from the high school. About 4 blocks from the high school.
Yeah.
So, obviously you've never been in Arizona. Actually, Ankles Bane, I have been to Arizona during the summer. I did a vacation there a couple years ago, many years ago. We went and saw the Grand Canyon. It was amazing. It can get pretty sweltering. But what was interesting though, even that summer, we were in Flagstaff. We were driving through Flagstaff, and we had a little bit of snow for just like a microsecond. And then by the time we hit Phoenix, it was again sweltering. So, but Arizona's beautiful. I would love to go back on another vacation. Because I was a little bit younger, and just being a little bit of a younger person, didn't appreciate the trip as much as I could have. And it's definitely something that my wife and I are talking about because she had a vacation many years ago to Montana. Like, oh, we should try to do both. We should try and do a loop from start in Ohio, kind of do a loop up and down and back, or down up and back. So that is a thing.
Now, I've never been to Arizona, but I've been to Yellowstone, and I kind of wish I was older then, because it's hard to grasp everything that you see because you're so young. So yeah.
You saw bears in Yellowstone, did you not?
No, I saw bears in Tennessee.
You saw bears in Tennessee. Okay.
I saw 5 bears in Tennessee.
Yeah. Yellowstone is somewhere else I'd like to take you guys. Now, you've already been. You went with your grandparents.
But like I said, I don't really remember much of it because I was so young at the time. I remember Old Faithful, the geyser, which was really, really cool to see. But aside from that, there's not much I remember. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a trip I'd like to take you and the boys, and I'd like to go myself because I've never been. So, that's certainly something I would like to do with you guys. There's a couple of places I'd like to go. I'd like to take you guys to DC. I've been, but I think that honestly, you guys should. If you come back on vacation, I'd suggest going to camping in Tonto National Forest. Okay, absolutely. Actually, Angles Band, I'm going to write that down right here, wherever Eli keeps his pens.
There's a little box right beside you.
Yep. Tonto National. All right. Hey, thank you. Actually, I'm going to get on their. I'll get on their website after the live stream here and check them out because if we end up doing a vacation like that again. Most certainly, my wife and I will probably take the boys camping every day that we do it. We're not going to do hotel or anything like that. That came out really venomous. Like, we're not going to do a hotel, dirty hotels. No, we actually just really enjoy camping.
Yeah, I love camping.
So, which is something we're going to be doing here in a couple weeks. We're going to take our kids down to Lake Hope and go camping for a little bit. So, that won't affect the show.
Which I might see my science teacher there.
Yeah, that's right.
My science teacher is really interesting. We should talk about him.
Okay, well.
All right. Well, you had him.
I did. I had him many years ago.
What are your thoughts on him? And then I'll give my
this.
thoughts.
We had at the high school have this teacher, Mr. Holland.
Yeah.
And I told you when you got him, because you got him on your schedule last year, and you said, "Oh, I'm going to have Mr. Holland." And I remember Sam and Eli said, "Oh, he's such a jerk. You're going to hate him."
Eli said he loved him after you said yeah.
And I said, Here's the thing. He's rough, and he is he can be kind of a jerk, but he's not. He's not. He just wants you to do well. The best part of the forest is ponderosa pines because they smell like vanilla. That sounds amazing. That actually sounds amazing. Ponderosa Pines.
Is that a restaurant? Ponderosa?
No, that's been defunct for a long time. That's awesome, Angles, man. Yeah, no, I can't. I'm actually going to, as soon as this live stream's over, I'm going to go check them out and see what, kind of look at their website and do a little research. So, most certainly, if we go back to Arizona, we'll probably camp there. But back to what we were kind of back on. So we were talking about Mr. Holland. I remember having him, and I remember people saying he's any new sorts. Not actually, guys. I'll give you guys a hint, or a little bit of a teaser here. I did pick up recently, about a month and a half ago. Cult of Athena had a clearance on a Topeka bastard sword, and I've never bought a Topeka product. I've always been kind of wary of them. I've heard a lot of bad. I've heard some good, but the prices always just seem really, really good on them. So I know they're kind of like cheap India made is what I always hear. And I thought, well, for $40, it's worth checking out. That's about the price of a wall hanger. So worst case scenario. Oh yeah, they are. So I'm actually probably this month. Probably sometime in the next week or two, we will probably have a review, less about the bastard sword itself and more of an overall of Topeka's quality and what I think of the Topeka products. I'm not going to say anything more than that because I'll spoil too much of the episode. So that's one of the things on the horizon. Actually, Eli and I are in talks right now with. Thank you, Thing Man. And cheers from the U.S. And from Ohio. And thank you for joining us. Glad to have you. Glad to have you here tonight. So, we're actually Eli and I are in talks with Hanbon Swords right now, and looking at maybe doing something with them. So we may have another katana, wakizashi tanto, some
sort of weapon.
some kind of Japanese weapon. We'll probably do a review on something like that. Excuse me. And Eli and I are going ready to kind of approach Atlantic Cutlery and maybe see if they would like to do some work with us. Yes, Hanbon. Yes. Yep. The win list actually holds up really well. I actually have it with me tonight. I didn't know if we would get into any kind of sword talk, but I did bring a few samples with me in case we did, because we do our live stream from where we edit. So all of the actual filming we do at my house. That's where our sets are. But then the editing is done here at Eli's home, at my parents' house where Eli lives. And just because he has the editing equipment here. So it's not a simple matter of me being able to like run downstairs and grab a sword and show it off. So I did bring a couple sample swords in case we ended up talking about swords at all. And I did bring the 1860, and it holds up well. I mean, it holds up just as well as the day I bought it. Actually, I was really surprised for the price point, how well it's held up, and really the quality that went into it. So, but there is that. There's a couple things on the horizon as far as what we're going to be doing for sword plays in the future. Hoping to do some things with Medieval Collectibles. Hoping to, we're in talks right now with Hanbon. We are talking with the guys over there. So we'll see how that pans out. And then we do have a Topeka review probably here in the next week or two. I did just finish filming a HUD and drill yesterday. So that will probably come out sometime this week. Maybe probably. Yeah, sometime within the next 10 days, we'll have that HUD and drill up. So, lots of things to look forward to on the sword play front. So, there's that.
Yep.
So, now you don't fight sword.
No, I do not.
But you actually have a pretty, coming from a martial arts family, you have a pretty extensive background in martial arts, but you kind of went your own way. My wife and I, we do a lot of, fist and feet martial arts. We do a lot of,
do grappling.
Yeah, and Andrew went full on wrestling. You're very welcome. I'm hoping I can't wait to get to them myself. To Ankles Bangs. We look forward to those vids. We're looking forward to doing them too. But you went straight wrestling,
yes,
and you actually did really, really well. Now you're not entirely certain. You're looking at pursuing a musical career after high school. You're looking at music therapy,
yeah,
or guitar technician. After you graduate, so you're kind of looking toward the future. And so you're not entirely sure if you're going to be wrestling next year or not. But you've done it for a couple years now, and it did incredible. I can't believe it. You kind of went your own way.
It's confusing at first, going from like Taekwondo to wrestling.
Right. Your first martial arts was a fist and foot background,
and so as soon as you go, you're like, okay, I'm out of my element. This guy is on top of me now. I'm really uncomfortable. I'm out of my element.
Well, you're not allowed to punch him.
That's the thing. You want to come out swinging at the guy, and you don't. Yeah.
So, what was your favorite part about wrestling?
Winning. No, just joking.
Okay.
No, I don't know. It's hard to say what my favorite part is. I guess the group of people I did hang out with, that was really good. Being able to have a group of people to hang out with instead of like 15 different people from different which isn't a bad thing. It's just
You see kind of like the camaraderie of it all.
yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of, and it's kind of weird saying it like this, but it's kind of an adventure because it's like, okay, you gotta go through this season, but now you gotta work all summer to get to your next season. Yeah, it's fun stuff.
So now I've noticed when I spar you now are kind of reversed, and you have more of a tendency to grapple. You want to kind of go to the ground immediately.
Oh yeah.
With a martial arts background, it's hard to acclimate to not using fist or kicks. Yeah, that was the same. Engelsbane, that was the same problem he had. You started in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
That's where Mom and I kind of started you, in doing in martial arts, and so you came straight from a punching and kicking background, and immediately had to go into like, oh yeah, you're not allowed to do those things. Like, don't hit the other guy, you'll get in trouble.
Well, the problem is that like all these guys who were doing it since they were in like kindergarten, and then there's me starting at 7th grade.
Base 1, right?
Yeah, you start getting angry. Like you get extremely angry. Like I can't.
Like, get off of me!
I want to punch you so bad in the nose, and you can't do anything about it, and you just kind of have to sit there and let it happen.
But now you actually have the opposite problem. Now, like I said, when we spar,
Oh yeah,
you
now
got the opposite problem. Like, you kind of want to go to the ground like right away. And I keep telling you like, oh no, like wear him out a little bit up top first, and then go to ground.
well because as soon as in a wrestling match, as soon as the whistle blows, you're going for the guy.
Right.
Although I'm very different. Every single person in the freaking stands is like, take a shot, and you're just like, I'm gonna linger back a little bit.
Yeah, you didn't always. Actually, you rarely took a shot on your opponent.
You said you noticed from my 7th to my 8th grade year. You noticed my 7th grade year, I was kind of headstrong, but my 8th grade year I was a little bit more
Tactical.
yeah.
Yeah. And then moving into high school, you became even more so. You know, it became more and more about the game and the chess game that has to be played. Like, you didn't immediately shoot for the guy just the first opportunity you saw.
Well, a
lot of those times
I
you would see. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you would see opportunities to go, and then you're like, no, not this one.
Yeah,
I'll let this one pass. Which is partly probably a product of sparring in this family, and partly a product of your coaching. Because that's kind of been when I teach. That's kind of the way I come from. It's like, you don't have to, just because you can throw a punch, just because there is an opening, doesn't mean you have to take that opening. Same thing with sword fighting. Just because there is an opening doesn't mean you have to take it, and maybe it's not the best opening to take. Maybe wait a little bit and see if there's another opening.
Well, like you said, I don't know. It's really easy to get angry in wrestling because it's just so much pressure on whatever part of your body. And I remember you were there. It was 7th grade. It was at the high school, and I slammed the kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't sure whether or not I was gonna get called a foul or not because I got angry at the kid.
Well, you shoulder threw.
I snapped. Yeah.
And I remember talking to you after that, like, yeah, you can't do that.
Not the Newark kid. I slammed him too. I'm talking about the one at our high school.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, after that, the shoulder throw, was dangerous.
Yeah, well, I've always said, it's better to fight smart than fight angry. You're not going to accomplish anything by doing that. You just open yourself to too many attacks. And so we always had dialogue after practice and after meets. I'd always say like, oh yeah, like you did really good. Just watch that or watch this. But I think between having a family that was in martial arts, having really good coaches, and then just having a good head on your shoulders and picking up everything you could pick up, you had it figured out. It was okay. Of course you're gonna make mistakes.
Well, like martial arts in general, like Olympics and stuff. As much as I like sparring and stuff.
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead. You're fine.
As much as I like sparring and stuff, I like watching it more. Like, I can't think of a good example. Well, there's 3 types. You have the really bad players that you're just like, oh my god, this is amazing. They're not going anywhere. Then you have the beasts that is just like back and forth. And then you have like the 2 fat guys that are going at each other. That's always fun to look at because it's like so much power going at each other. Or the smaller guys, which really fast, back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. Martial arts is fun in general.
Yeah, I love sparring. I love going toe to toe. It's like my favorite thing in the whole world. Is going toe to toe with somebody.
The worst part is doing the physical part of it.
He's just doing the exercise part. Just doing the exercise part. So, just about, I don't know, a half hour before we started streaming.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
not a half hour ago. A half hour before we started streaming, so an hour ago.
Yeah. You're talking about it.
So about an hour ago, we watched YouTube channel Todd in the Shadows. If you're not familiar with him, he does some music reviews. He also does something called One Hit Wonderland, where he looks at one-hit wonders. And they're always super interesting episodes. And what he ended up talking about was he did One Hit Wonderland on the Proclaimers. I Will Be 500 Miles. And actually, it was a super interesting episode. And I told Andrew, I was like, "Oh, you have to watch this."
It was good.
It was good. It was good. And I put the Proclaimers on my Pandora. It's number 500 on my channel, Pandora channels. But it's definitely a band worth checking out. If you're not familiar with the Proclaimers, check them out because it ended up being very very interesting episode. So there's that. There's that. So I hope to see here in the next a few minutes here. I'm hoping to see Eli. Eli did say, even though he's at work, he's going to try and take a moment and chat over here with us. So hopefully he'll be able to join in the chat in a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it. I keep eyeballing the comments here and hoping to see him. So it's interesting not having him here as my partner. It's kind of a different experience. So having you here, So it actually, honestly, ends up being okay because really you can only get like 2 people in this area. This is my brother's bedroom / office that we're sitting in, and it's pretty crowded. It's especially crowded when we're editing. It gets so hot in here while we're editing.
Have you ever used the light in here?
Oh yeah. It gets hot.
Freaking.
Andrew is referencing our light box that is sitting to his left. Yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to get him shot.
Nope, I'm good.
We have a light box in here that we use obviously to get natural lighting for our
freaking hot.
And it gets hot. We used it today, filming our This Is Movies that we have coming up. We have if for anybody interested, sometime next week we're gonna have a This Is Movies on the good, the bad, and the ugly. And while we were filming, we actually did a little pre-skit. And we were in the bathroom, and the bathroom doesn't have a lot of ventilation. It's very, very hot, and with the light box in there too, it ended up being so hot in there. So, it gets really warm in this space. You can't see you. You gotta come more toward There's an arm there over Andrew's head.
I'm here.
You're here.
I'm here.
You're here.
You gonna sit down?
You want Andrew's spot?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I'll stand.
We'll stand. Why don't you stand? I know it's Stag.
Okay, that brings up a good topic, Dad.
Tell me the topic.
Okay, so there's a song. He already told you, didn't he?
What are you doing?
It's too tall for me. Okay.
Yeah, that chair's broken, by the way. It may fall apart any second. I'm teasing.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Mom is here.
I'm here.
So, actually, Eli's not here, so we have kind of a plethora of guests coming through.
Mm-hmm.
We may actually hear from. We got to keep an eye on the comments here. We may actually end up seeing him at some point here when he gets a break. He'll comment. So,
Don't worry about Sam. He doesn't need to come up here.
no one cares about Sam. Just another family member. Who cares about Sam?
Oh, this is nice. I got a little place to put my foot.
There you go.
There.
There you
Much
go.
better. Okay.
So,
What were we talking about?
well, we were talking about.
sorry. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. We were just talking. Well, you were just talking about something. What were you talking about, Andrew? There was a song.
I don't remember.
That is so tacky.
I didn't do that.
What is
That's Eli that did that.
What a damn.
That's Eli's. Like I said, this is Eli's office / music area / bedroom / the place where we do all our editing for these shows. So Eli has crap all over his desk here, which is
In the booze closet.
there's that the booze closet, the boobs closet, or
Okay, now what are we talking about?
I don't know. Andrew had a topic
I
there
don't
for a second.
remember. I said that.
Oh, he doesn't remember. So there's that. How was your day?
Oh, it was good. It
It was good.
was very good.
Very good. And you were gonna call.
It's my Friday. Swing.
That's the best day ever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Fridays are awesome. Like when you get like the end of the week, and I didn't realize that until I ended up getting a job where I had when I was working at the hospital was the first time I'd ever had a job. I was working like 16 hours a day, 5 or 6 days a week in restaurants prior to the hospital, and I got a job that they're like, yeah, you need to take a break. I was like, well, I don't do that. I don't really do a break. I'm like, no, you have to take a break. That's our rule. We get in trouble if you don't. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll take a break. And then, I had like 2 days off in a row, and I had like work a 9 to 5, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. This is so much different than...
Your Fridays are great until nobody else is on that same Friday. And then they kind of get annoyed with you. That you are glowing and you're smiling ear to ear knowing the countdown's on. And so, yeah, they were getting a little pissed.
One of the first jobs, well, one of my early jobs, I should say first, but one of my early jobs is I ran a restaurant. I ran a restaurant in town, Loggers, that's now gone. And I had Sundays and I had Sundays and Mondays off.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing. So you had one weekend day, and you had one weekday, and it was great. It was like great to go to the movie theater on Monday, and like there's nobody there. It's like you feel like you're, even though you're off, you feel like you're cheating. You're just like, everybody's at work. I'm at the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next job I got was like, so I'll work Saturdays if I can have just Sunday and Monday off. I'm like, oh, that works for us because Saturdays are busy. So,
Well, I only work half day Friday. When I was working 4/10s Monday through Thursday, the problem with that is you get really tired. I mean, 10-hour days are, come the fourth day, you're really tired at the end of the day.
right.
And so now we've worked it out where I work 4 9 hours or 4 8 hours, I don't know. And I work half a day on.
Yeah, Anglesbane. Anglesbane. That was when I worked at the hospital a couple years back. That was the first time that somebody had told me like, you have to take a break. I was like, oh, I have to take a break. When working in restaurants, we take we call union meetings, which meant we went back and smoked for 5 minutes, and then we got.
You smoke?
Yeah, I smoke now. I mean, that's.
You weren't smoking then.
I smoked back then when that was all the cooks were doing. So that's what all the cooks were doing.
Well, I want to know why it is that they have to beg you to take a break, and I had to beg you to clean house.
Because I was working 60 hours a day. Because they were paying me.
No. This is when you were a kid.
Oh, when I was a kid. I was just talking about how great it was, like, Andrew's on summer break, and how great it is to have summer break as a kid, and how much you appreciate it when you're an adult, when you don't have it, and you're like, oh, like, kids are off school, and, like, that's amazing. That first day of summer break, having summer break is just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
3 months of, you don't really have a lot of responsibilities, other than your parents being up your butt about, like, oh, pick up the living room.
I wasn't like that.
Oh, I am.
Yes.
I am. We did a deep clean the other day. I was like, guys, we gotta get the area clean.
If you're anything like me, it's like all of a sudden it has to be done. It has to be done now. Nobody can take a break. We just gotta get it done now. And everybody gets ticked.
Well, I'm always like, guys, if you just do it, if we just get it done, it's gonna take us an hour, 2 hours tops, and then we're done. And the rest of the day's yours because you're on summer
Okay, but
break.
I tried that logic with you.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
this is great because you get to see what I went through with you.
Fair's fair. Fair is fair.
Just saying.
So, you having fun?
I
Oh,
am!
you are having fun. I can tell. You're just
You
like
see
so
this?
happy.
I made this.
You made that?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Isn't that pretty?
That's pretty. It's made out of wool,
I felted it. It's a poppy.
poppy.
Oops. This is backwards and it's
Like
confusing.
opium poppy or
What type of wool?
Really, honest to God, I swear you'd think my kids are like drunks and druggies, and they're not. They're not.
I've never taken a legal drug in my entire life.
Illegal drug?
Illegal drug?
Illegal drug.
He said
He
legal.
said legal drug.
Yeah, I've never taken a legal drug. I only take the illegal ones. Crack, cocaine, heroin. That's all I do.
Anyway,
No, I've never done an illegal drug in my entire life. I've never even smoked pot.
It's because I raise good boys.
I don't know about your other kids. They're probably terrible.
No, but you know, you learn things through social media when they're away at college, and you think, I don't need to know this. I don't need to know this. So, but did you know that one of them went across state lines in a trunk?
Was it Sam?
No.
Was it
Yes. When
Well, they probably didn't tell me because I'd be like, oh, that was a stupid thing to do.
he got on the trunk, there were so many of them. Somebody had to do the trunk. He volunteered to do the trunk, so went
It
across.
was
Sam?
Sam, wasn't it?
And, you know, well,
It was
That's what I
Sam,
figured.
wasn't it?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say which
It
side.
was Sam.
It was
I know
Sam.
who
It
it
was
was.
Sam.
You don't even have
There's
to
no
say
other
it.
person.
Your face tells it all. So.
Eli's too sketchy.
So Sam. So not only do you not only were you come to the door like, oh, don't worry about Sam, we don't care about him, but now you're like, I'm gonna totally throw him under the bus.
Eli's the type of guy who'd be in the trunk and be like, I need a breather, and open the trunk and get
When
out.
I found out, I was absolutely mortified. Because don't tell me you never did anything stupid. I'm like, not that stupid.
That was stupid.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure that yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's illegal. And if you guys would have been in an accident, you're gone.
We have some stories now. A couple episodes ago, about I don't know 3 or 4 episodes ago, we had one of our This Is Something shows. We had the trouble episode
Mm-hmm.
where we talked about times we've been hurt, and then we talked about times we got in trouble. And yeah, there were a couple things in there. And I remember that we had a meme that was just like I don't know if kids are high or just stupid. And it's like that's pretty much about the way it sums up. Although I didn't really. And we talked about this because I called you that morning.
Mm-hmm, you did.
And I said,
you ever got in trouble?
Like, do you remember me getting in trouble? Like, I don't really remember. Not that I was a perfect kid. I was a kid. Kids do stupid crap, and they get in
was
trouble.
perfect.
But I don't really remember doing anything like particularly that stands out. Like, oh yeah, no, I got in trouble the time I did.
think he blocked it out.
I might have.
You were a good kid. You were a very good kid.
I feel like doing them. Thing, man, that's kind of how I feel, and it's why I don't. It's why I've never done a illegal drug. Guys, true story, never been drunk, and mostly because I just don't. I don't like the way I felt when I've gotten buzzed. I don't really like that feeling of being
Out of control.
out of control. I don't really like that.
Mhm.
And that's carried over. And that then of course carried over into my martial arts. I never really liked that feeling. I've never felt comfortable with that. I'm not a prude. I've been with friends that have smoked pot. I've been with friends that have been drunk. I'm not a prude. It just isn't for me. So, there's that. And yeah, just illegal drugs just don't they don't do it for me. So yeah, thing, man, I'm with you there. I totally get where you're coming from.
Where are you reading that?
We got a little live chat. We have these little. This is people that are commenting.
Hi,
in.
Thing Man. What Thing Man?
100. Yep.
And who's the other
100.
people?
Anklebane 13. And
Anklebane 13.
we have Moolah friend in there somewhere. He's
Moolah friend.
Moolah.
Moolah.
Oh, Moolah.
Not Moolah.
You have to
Well, I like Moolah, but
Yeah, I
okay,
know.
Moolah.
He wouldn't call himself Moolah friend because then everybody would want to be his friend. Like, oh, you got money. So
what did you talk about earlier in the show?
we talked a little about us coming sword plays. We got some questions about the coming sword plays we're doing. So we talked a little bit about that. We talked about Eli being missing. What else we talked? We talked about driving.
We never talked about finish Mr. Holland's story.
We never finished Mr. Holland's story. I guess we'll come back to that. We did talk about party games for Xbox or PS4. Yeah, that's your favorite subject. Sam, time for you to tag in. Yeah, so no, we were talking about earlier. We had the science teacher, Mr. Holland, and Andrew, you had him, and you had said, like Eli and Samuel are like, "Oh, he's a jerk. You're gonna hate having him."
Oh
And
my
I was
God,
like,
you
no,
shouldn't
he-
say this. Ricky sees this. Now he's
no,
gonna-
well, no. Here's the thing.
Mr. Holland
He's
hasn't
not
seen
a
a piece of technology since like the
no, he
80s.
has. I actually here's the thing. I remember
they liked you, Mr. Holland. They're just so young at the time. That's
Well,
all.
you know, the thing is, I actually, as an adult, appreciated him much, much more. And I told Andrew when Andrew got him on his schedule last year.
You didn't like him either, huh?
I'll explain. No, because listen, I'll go ahead and tell the story just so he's a jerk. I'll admit it, but he has
She didn't mean that.
he has the best way of describing things. Like at the beginning of the year, we were talking about inertia. Never got it. I always failed that question on tests and stuff. Halfway through the year, not even halfway through the year. Like when did I tell you that? Like the fourth 9 weeks. So like the end of the year, there's a bird crap on the window that's leaning. And he's like, Andrew, see that bird crap right there? He's like, I'll explain inertia. And it's like, what are you talking about? He's like, the bird is flying and the wind carried the crap and it smacked up against something. He's like, that's the stopping point of the inertia. It wanted to stay there. But since the wind carried it and it hit a surface, I was like, okay, I get it now.
It's like, it's amazing. I told Andrew when he got him on the schedule last year, and he was like, oh, I don't know. I said, here's the thing. He's not a jerk. He's tough. He's really tough. But I can name three things, because the camera's over here. I remember three things I can tell you right now that I learned in his class. There's no other teacher I've had in elementary or high school that I can say I learned definitively. You know, these things I can recall and remember that I learned them. He's a really, really good teacher. He's a tough teacher, but he's a good one. I appreciated him much more as an adult after I'd had him.
Well, that's how we all.
You know, and I was like, oh man, I wish I would have more time with Mr. Holland's class and I think you'll be the same way. And I think if Eli and Sam dug down deep, they probably would be the same way too.
Well,
He was really funny. I mean, he'd make you feel like crap if you ask a question. You'd be like, oh, I don't get this momentum question. You'd be like, stop, think.
he would always.
And she's like, no, I just want you to answer the
And
question.
it's kind of weird. It's like almost 3 generations of people had the same teacher with the same experience.
And he's he's consistent. He's consistent because he knows what works, and he was a good teacher. And I can rattle off facts right now that I know because.
Go ahead.
When you pour water in a cup and there's a little bubble, that's a meniscus. I remember that, and that ended up being handy for culinary.
There's a meniscus in your knee too.
There's a meniscus in your knee. We have seasons because our Earth's on a 21-degree angle. Remember that. I know how to do conversions from U.S. standard measurements. Because I had him as a teacher, he was a great teacher.
Let's talk about something fun.
Okay, what's fun? What was the last movie you saw?
Dad and I went and saw The Shack.
Okay.
I read the book. I met the author, and
You met Dean Koontz? Is that the same
no,
author?
that's not The Shack.
That's not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Stephen King?
No.
Definitely not Stephen King.
I'm just gonna start naming off people. I'm like,
No.
Liam Neeson?
No.
That's not even author. You're
I
now
know,
naming
I'm just
names.
naming people now.
No. And it was good. It was good. I wouldn't say it was like on my top 10. I mean, it was really good. But before that, probably Star Wars. So the Star Wars.
Was The Shack scary?
No,
Because I
it's
think
a
of
Christian
I
base.
think of the
It's
Love Shack.
Ankles Bane. Have you seen Wonder Woman? Because I'm probably going to see it next weekend, so don't spoil it. Was it good? Because I've heard amazing things about it. Probably, I think next week or in 2 weeks.
Brittany's going tonight.
Eli and I are going to be doing a pop culture, and we're going to do female superheroes as our pop culture topic. Based just because.
My first one they're going to talk about.
That's it right there. Did you see Wonder Woman? Was it good? I'm really hoping it is. My wife and I will probably go see it next weekend.
Does that mean you have to stay home
Yes,
and get pizza?
sure.
All right.
I'll be over.
Okay. It was good. I'm glad. It was really. I'm glad to hear that. That's all I've heard though. Is that was fantastic. Which is great because DC really needs to step up its game in its movies.
We're gonna get crap now.
So, well, no. I mean, I want the movies to be good. I'm really,
Yeah.
really.
I don't even want to take the time to watch the Batman.
I'm really worried about Justice League. I'm not a huge. If you've seen any of our former stuff, I'm not a big fan of Zack Snyder's directing. So,
Aquaman looks good.
fingers crossed because I'm really worried.
That'll be good. Everybody says it's good.
Well, Zack Snyder's not doing Wonder Woman. They're doing a break from that. I am looking forward to Joss Whedon just got green lighted to do Batgirl, and I love Joss Whedon. Batgirl's
Which was funny.
one of my
because
favorite superheroes.
He did the Avengers, and now he's kind of like switching.
Yeah, he's switching sides. He's switching sides.
He needs the help. We need the help.
So, I would love it if Kevin Smith would direct a DC movie. I would love to see a Kevin Smith directed Justice League. Would be
It'd be
amazing.
too dark, though, in my opinion.
Oh no! I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be. How much darker can you get than Zack Snyder? Because everything is like gray tone.
But he does appreciate the characters more.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So, you saw The Shack. I was just saying, Eli and I last night, or no, not last night. Yes, last night watched The Good and Bad Ugly together.
I watched
The
Okay.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
Because we did film today, This Is Movies for this month was on The Good, and Bad, and Ugly. Now, I've seen it a couple times already.
Mhm. I haven't seen it.
It's a commitment. It's a 3-hour and 6-minute
Yeah,
movie.
see,
I
and
mean,
I
it's
have
a long...
I have a hard time sitting through movies anyway. They have to be really good for me to take the time to go.
But I will say, I saw it several years ago, and I've forgotten how good of a movie it is. It is a legitimately good movie. It's just a time-consuming one. Sergio Leone knows how to work a camera. He knows how to get the most out of a scene. His shots are really quite spectacular.
Mhm.
Especially where everything's brown and gray.
Yeah, especially not a lot of color
It's
to
really
work with.
impressive to
He does
see
a
that.
really good job. It is a slow-paced movie, though. I mean,
Let's see, that would
well,
kill me.
the first dialogue isn't spoken until 10.5 minutes in.
Oh, shit.
That's the first line of dialogue, and you're like, oh my god.
It was the first time I watched it, and Dad and Eli were messing with me. Like, at the very end, they were like, Andrew, we still got another hour to go. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done. Like, he's like, is this the end, right? We're like, no, it's got another hour to go, buddy. Like, at a certain point, you're like, I don't know if I've been here for 45 minutes or
Mhm.
5 hours.
Mhm. Look how much we look alike.
We do look alike.
Everybody says that.
Yes,
And
they do.
actually, I was showing his picture from getting your temps to a couple people at work, and they're like, "Oh my God, they look just like you." Brittany said, "He looks just like Josh, who looks just like me."
You're so proud of that.
I am. Do you imagine though how awful it is to grow up here and you look just like your mom at 16?
Well,
no boy wants to
now,
do
when
that.
we was working at the hospital, and you were working in the coffee shop at the hospital, people, everybody knew you, and so then by proxy, everybody knew me, and they'd say, "Oh, you look just like your mom," and at that point, I'd had this going, and so I'd say, "Oh, it's the beard, isn't it?" Yeah, Englesbane, Dances with Wolves is kind of a long movie too, though.
Oh my God! I love that movie.
That's a
And
great
I
movie
did
too.
sit through that. Now wait one moment.
Uh-oh.
I thought you and Eli trashed that movie all over the place.
Hmm.
No.
Oh,
No.
Last
I'll
of the Mohicans.
No. Avatar.
Last Samurai.
Because you're like, oh, I liked Avatar. I was like, it was Dance of Wolves.
I've never seen Avatar.
With the blue people. Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
My mother has. I have not. I never saw Avatar with
No,
Jennifer
No,
Lawrence.
maybe, I don't know what you were talking about.
What?
I remember when Avatar came out, and everybody was like, oh, Avatar. Like, have you seen Dance with Wolves? Because that means you've seen Avatar. Other than the fact that there's a crap load of CGI and there's blue people, it's Dance with Wolves.
Is that one
And-
with Jennifer Lawrence?
What?
No.
Avatar? No.
Sigourney
That's
Weaver?
Sigourney Weaver.
Is it
And
Weaver?
Are you
James-
guys sure?
yes, I'm 100% sure.
I'm positive.
I thought
It's directed
Jen-
by James Cameron. It has Sigourney Weaver's the
Mhm.
big name in it.
Give me a film, please.
Yeah, sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Wait, what's that say?
No Jennifer Lawrence. But yeah, Englesbane, Dance with Wolves is a great movie. It's one I haven't seen in a couple years
I
as
love
well.
that movie.
Also, kind of a long movie, but really, actually, it's better paced than
Most.
The Good, Bad, and Ugly. Because that can be kind of a slow paced. The Good, Bad, and Ugly is a slow paced film. I will say this about The Good, Bad, and Ugly. The climax of that movie, if you are willing to sit through the 3 hours and you get to the climax, even if you didn't like everything else, the climax is worth your 10 or 15 minutes of your time.
Was there a movie where Jennifer Lawrence was blue?
X-Men.
Oh,
She
well,
was
see, I was close.
She was Mystique.
Mystique.
Never
She was Mystique.
mind.
She was in
Don't listen
X-Men,
to me.
the X-Men First
Was she
Class.
really?
Yeah, she was in X-Men First Class and
She was
X-Men.
And she was blue.
Yeah, Mystique is blue. She was a
Okay.
mutant.
So never mind. So back to Good, Bad, and the Ugly, which I don't remember the ending.
The climax is just incredible. I mean, just really, honestly, in my top 10, one of my top 10 favorite movie scenes of all time. It is just an incredibly shot moment. Also, I didn't mention this in this movie, but it's Quentin Tarantino's favorite film. And you can tell why it's Quentin Tarantino's favorite film, because it's that kind of gritty.
Yeah.
There's no good guys. It's so why don't you do a Quentin Tarantino film for our next one? So guys, if you're watching, Eli did a vote last time. We're gonna do a vote this time. Would you rather us do for This Is Movies next month? Should we do, because we talked about doing a Miyazaki film. We talked about in our anime episode whether or not neither of us has really seen a Miyazaki, or Eli's seen one or two. I've not seen any. Should we do a Miyazaki or should we do a Quentin Tarantino film? Comment, and I'll take note of that, and we'll do whatever you guys vote on. So there's that. I like Quentin Tarantino quite a bit, so I am not necessarily opposed to doing that. But yes, one of his favorite films. You can see why. The whole time I was like, yeah, I can see why he loves this movie. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Just chanting back there.
Guess what I bought?
What'd you buy?
I bought a full skirted alpaca fleece. Alpaca.
So full skirt. What does full skirted mean? Does it come in a little tutu or?
That's a knee slap.
I'm not gonna have any more kids. No more. It means it was sheared in one piece,
Okay.
and skirted means it was.
Poor alpaca.
He loved it. It's getting hot out.
Was it
I'd
skirted?
like to see Quentin Tarantino video then. Okay. All right. So there's one vote for Quentin Tarantino, guys.
Since I loves his work. What movies?
Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, True Romance, Inglourious Bastards. You probably know none of them you've seen. They're ultra violent and
Did he do Kill Bill?
really
maybe?
funny. Django Unchained, which is probably one of my favorite films of the last 5 years.
Wait a minute.
Really
that
well
was
put together.
violent.
That was super violent.
I saw part of that and I had to.
Yeah, but his violence is always kind of over the top. It's not like,
It was violent.
yeah, it's violent. Hateful Eight is another one. Hateful Eight is one I haven't yet seen. I just haven't gone around with the show, everything Eli and I were doing with the show. I just haven't gone around and seen Hateful Eight yet. It's in my backlog of movies I need to see here very soon. So maybe we'll do that next month. I don't know. But we do have a vote for Quentin Tarantino. So that's out there. The Kill Bill movies is another two he did.
I've heard of all these. But
Yeah. Reservoir Dogs is probably one of my favorite. Up there in some of my favorite films of all time. It's just a well done movie. It's violent, but it's not violence for the sake of violence. There's a point to it. At least I feel there is. It's another one of those. There's no good guys. But there's that.
Love, not war, man.
Love, not war, man. Peace. Peace, man. So you got a full alpaca.
No, just the fleece.
Okay. You didn't buy an alpaca.
No.
Then
but-
Now, what would you do if an alpaca showed up at your doorstep? And you're like,
Oh, it's mine, baby.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm trying to convince some friends who have a lot of property, a lot of land, to, get some
Gus is saying
get some
alpacas.
alpacas. Okay.
And maybe a miniature donkey, because I want one of those too.
What would you do with a miniature donkey?
What?
What would you do with a miniature donkey?
Love on it. I love those little miniature. They're so cute.
Have you seen how have you seen The Duelist? If so, what are your thoughts on the movie? I have seen The Duelist. It was
It's old, but it's awesome.
I saw The Duelist.
Who's in that?
Harvey Keitel.
Oh, I love her.
I do too.
Love her.
I'm going with Quentin, so there's 2 votes for Quentin Tarantino. Harvey Keitel's in almost every Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's in almost every single one. Him
Wow.
and Steve Buscemi and
Oh, I love Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi's in almost every one. Tim Roth, thank you. Tim Roth is in almost every single one. I love Tim Roth. I could watch Tim Roth all day. The Duelist. To answer your question, I have seen a long, long time ago. I remember it being quite good, but I'm trying to. I know there's like several duels throughout the film. They're doing with small swords, I believe. I remember it being pretty. I remember it being quite good. Samuel Jackson is in a lot of Tarantino films.
I love him.
Tarantino's almost Jackson's in half of Tarantino's films.
Okay.
A lot of his iconic
Good
lines.
actors.
His most of his iconic lines come from Pulp Fiction. He plays a hitman and a priest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good undercover, I guess.
Yeah. The Duelist. I honestly think, man, I'm trying to recollect. It's been a long, long time, and I watch a lot of movies, so it's been a long, long time since I've seen The Duelist. I'll probably have to rewatch it, to be honest, because it's been a long time since I've seen it. I remember enjoying it. I just don't remember all the scenes. I remember the duels quite a bit, but I don't really remember much about it beyond that. I know it's loosely based on very loosely based on a actual event, or not an actual event, but a story. There was two officers during the Napoleonic Wars, and occasionally, whenever units were close to each other, they would meet to duel, and this went on for a period of like 4 or 5 years, and one continuous duel. They never really finished their duel.
Okay. Interesting. We could endorse that way. That way, save everybody else.
Yeah, just like one
Just
duel.
the leaders.
One duel, you know.
That's
Yeah.
good. Oh,
Yeah.
we should do that now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that
Sorry.
would really, I'm not gonna, agree or disagree.
Look, don't blame them. It's me.
So, but yeah, no, honestly, the age of dueling, I think dueling in general, it seems like a good way to handle situations.
Yeah, our chest
Like,
games.
people, like, sue each other all the time. It's like, what if the judge, actually, post medieval age, it wouldn't be uncommon, especially moving into the Renaissance and a little bit beyond, it wouldn't be uncommon for a judge, if he couldn't really make a decision, to say, well, you guys duel it out. And that was his order, so you would have a quarter duel.
I'd be so screwed.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Here's the thing, and this was
They probably wouldn't get peace, not love.
yeah. You'd be like, you know what?
He's not war.
He could just have my land. It's okay. I mean, he did steal it, but I'm not going to sue him. It's fine. Actually, you might. It's interesting. Matt East from Skull Gladiator had a video not long ago about the same topic, but during the Napoleonic War, it wouldn't be uncommon for French soldiers to walk up to the British lines and then taunt the British. And so the British would then get angry, and then they would challenge them to a duel. Well, in general dueling rules, the challenger or the challengee would get to pick the weapon. So the French would get to pick a weapon because it was the British who, even though they instigated, the British would have challenged them to a duel, so the French would get to pick a weapon. And the French at the time would duel almost exclusively with the small sword, which is a non-bladed sword. It's only for thrusting. It has no cutting ability. And so, the British weren't familiar with the small sword. They would duel mostly with the saber, which was a cutting sword. And so, not really being familiar with the weapon, the British would just charge in. They would just jab, and because they were being kind of reckless, they would actually end up doing more stabbing than the French. They would end up winning more duels. And the French would complain about this and be like, "Oh, that's not right. That's not fair. You're not doing by the rules of the duel." And you're like, "Well, no, wait a second. You came over here and taunted us for you don't get you got to choose the weapon. You came over here and taunted us. You kind of lose any ground now."
We
So,
get first thrust.
Yeah. So but you might win. There's certain
Probably
thing
not,
to say about charging in first and just kind of stabbing or hacking at your opponent. It's kind of hard to not get hit by an angry person or a person with a weapon. So, but yeah, the duel, that would be bringing back the duel might solve some problems. I think like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna sue somebody, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be solved by duel. You're like, maybe it's not worth dueling, like suing
See,
them.
I'm telling you, it might solve a lot of issues.
So
If the main guy has to get up there, it may change everything.
yeah, and you're like all of a sudden you're like, yeah.
Never mind.
It's called beginner's luck. Well, yeah, it could be. It could be.
It'd have to be for me.
It would, yeah. There's something to be said, though, about trying to hit a person who is just flailing at you. That's a really hard thing to guard against.
So you teach that in your self-defense course?
I know I do actually. You know, it's interesting when I do teach swordsmanship. I find with new students, I get hit a lot more by new students than by students who have had time to learn. And they're like, yeah, I know, like new students have to be like, I'm hitting you a lot. Like, are you supposed to be? Are you supposed to be teaching? Like, am I learning anything? It's like, no, you need to understand. You can't just come at me flailing because even though you're scoring more hits, it means you're opening yourself up more and more to attacks. And every time you swing, you open yourself up. So yeah, I mean, it's a matter of learning that like you need to watch yourself. It's more important for you to guard your body than it is for you to score a hit. So yes, it is one part beginner's luck, but I also assert that there is something to be said for somebody who's untrained to be flailing at you. That's a hard thing to defend against, and that's just from experience with new students and having them come at me and just waving a sword at me. That can be a hard thing to defend against. So that's that. So you're getting a. I want to go back to this donkey thing though because I'm wondering why you want a donkey.
Oh, for crying out loud, they're cute.
But
Why do people have dogs?
Okay, but like dogs, like sleeping. You don't have a donkey like sleeping in your bed at the foot of your feet
A
or whatever.
miniature donkey, A. No, I'm not gonna have
I
it.
want a
Has
micro
gloves.
pig. Those things are adorable.
I want
You're
micro
loud.
bacon.
Quit it. They're so cute, and they have such great personalities.
The micro pigs or the donkeys?
The donkeys.
I mean, dogs have great personalities, and you have dogs, so
I know.
I mean, I
And
don't know
you
if
know,
your dogs have great
A mini
personalities.
donkey would probably be no bigger than Gus Gus, so it'd be like Gus Gus would have a friend.
Gus.
Did you know that people have donkeys in their fields with their horses to protect them?
No, I don't know why.
Okay, never mind.
Well, the
I
information
thought it was
just-
really interesting.
it's
My
just kinda
girlfriend has
random.
horses, and she said they want to get a couple donkeys because they protect the horses.
Couldn't you also, by proxy, get a big dog to protect your horse? Like
Gus. No, Gus is too wimpy. He would just back down. He wouldn't understand the difference. He would try to love on it.
Don't listen.
Ooh, dog.
Where's
I will say, the other day, we were here visiting, and Gus was sitting there. He had his tongue out, and he was like, smiling his big stupid smile. And Luke was flailing around, and Luke hit him in the face, full on, like this, bop.
By accident.
Not by accident, but he was just swinging around like pretending to be a Power Ranger or whatever, and he hit Gus full force. And Gus, I just didn't even
Gus-
over his head. He had no idea.
Our dogs are large, and they are terrific with the kids. But anybody would come in the middle of the night would be a snack. Period. With Gus, it'd be a snack. Because he is very wired for that. I mean, I hate when the kids come in late because then, he's growling and is, yeah. So, anyway. But I just think a donkey would be fun.
We got Sierra. We didn't get Sierra. Our dog Sierra. We didn't get her to protect the house or anything. We got her because
Oh my God, she's what? The size of Gus's head.
Yeah, she's she's super hyper, but she's lovable enough.
Oh, she's sweet.
And the one night she was barking really loud in the living room. We're like, Sierra, shut up. Somebody had broken into our car. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. The weekend before, we had gone to Michelle's parents. And we didn't have our car was on the fritz. We're like, we were not going to be able to drive up there. So her grandmother rented us a car. So what the person probably saw was a brand new car sitting on the, on street parking. They're like, oh, I'm going to see. Here's the thing, though. Because it was a rented car, there was literally nothing in the car. The car didn't even have crumbs on the floor like my van does.
Tell me this.
So, now when she barks, my God, I better go look and see what that is.
You didn't tell me somebody broke into a car.
No, well, because break in as a relative term. They open the door and realize there's nothing in there. It's like, oh, they probably felt
How
like
do you
they
know
probably.
did it?
Because the center console was open and there was Michelle and I had been in there,
Yeah.
so they had been
They're
in there to
looking
look for
for
some
change
change,
or
mug cash, or
CDs,
what CDs,
whatever.
whatever.
Gift cards. Do you ever leave people in gift cards in the car? and debit and credit cards. When our house was robbed, the houses behind us all got hit, and they didn't go in their houses like they did ours, but they got in their cars. And one lady was telling me, yeah, they took about $400 worth of gift cards. I'm like, you left gift cards in the car.
Oh, I would like leaving gift cards on cars is one thing, but $400 worth of gift cards is a whole different. Like leaving a $25 gift card to Target in your car is one thing. Like I might do that if I'm not thinking about it, but like $400 worth of gift cards.
And her credit card was in there too.
Well, okay, that's kind of stupid.
But
I mean, that's
oh shh! It's
You make it sound like we live in a bad area. Like
we don't, but you know
But-
what? It doesn't matter because none of us are protected from it. I mean, it's going to happen no matter
Right.
where it is.
well,
I mean,
that's
we
the
live
thing.
in
It's
great
going to happen. It's why
neighborhoods,
Michelle and I don't lock our car doors because
but- oh, that's- so they don't break the window getting.
yeah, that's
the
exactly
car.
it. It's like I'd rather you just take whatever you want out of the car and I lose $10 that we're sitting in the car than $10 and have to repay for the side window.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it's what, fine, just take it. It's $10 or whatever. It's probably $4 and change is sitting in my console.
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
at the end of the day, that's what it is about. So, guys, it is 7:10, and so we're going to win a few minutes over. For those of you that joined us, thank you so much for watching. It's always
And being patient with me.
it's always a pleasure to have you guys watching us. It's, it really propels us to continue to do the show and to continue to do it well. So thank you so much.
When's your next live show?
In 2 weeks, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and do this live stream every 2 weeks. So, we actually did an episode on those just not long ago.
What is it?
It's a fidget spinner.
Oh, what do you do with it?
that.
Oh,
That's about it.
that's it?
That's it. I'll
But
explain it to you here in a little bit. We actually have a whole episode on it coming up sometime next week.
I don't get it, but okay.
So I didn't either. You're doing real good with your channel. Thank you, Ankles Bane. It is. Thank you. It really, it's people like you that they keep us doing this. And so, guys, keep a lookout on the things that's going on here in the future. And that's it. So until next time, I'm Joshua.
Oh, I'm Kelly.
I'm Andrew.
And this is Live Stream. Bye, guys.